have to we can obviously we're going to edit around some of this stuff.
Yeah.
What are we calling this, by the way?
The Tom and David do a podcast.
Oh, Tom and David do a podcast. I actually like that. Tom and David do a podcast. We're going, by the way. It's recording. I hope.
Yeah. I saw the countdown.
It happened. Yeah. All right. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Tom and David do a podcast. This is starting great, by the way.
Yeah. Exactly Fantastic. How I envisioned it.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. We are remote this time because David decided to move away all the way down the peninsula. Which
actually, what happened was that I had a room, and then you decided to give it to a baby. And so
I did decide to give it to a baby. Actually, before that, I moved to Seattle. So I did move away first. We lived together for a while. Then we lived 3 blocks from each other. And then I moved 2 states away and moved back. But then I moved
Tom's
to the East Bay.
I miss you guys so much that I'm going to come back. But I'm going to live an hour away.
But then instead of moving down the East Bay, you decided to live in the
way. Arms length.
A whole arm's length away. That's right.
I love you guys, but not that much.
You can't raise you can raise a baby in the city. It's not, but it's so much easier to do it out here in the suburbs where it's you have a house and a backyard with a dog and children.
You can have
3 of them.
Like in Redwood City, you can give them to the nannies and stuff and have them.
I was wondering where you were going. Who are you giving my children away to?
No, man. Positive twist, right? I had you in the first half, and then
yeah, exactly. Where are we going? Who are you giving children to? Nannies, got it. Yeah. Well, they have daycare out here. It's not like they don't have, So all right.
Yeah, but okay. Random question: do they have feeder schools, like elementary feeder schools out there?
I'm sure they do. There's a high school out here where there's De La Salle and Carondelet, which is it's an all boys school and all girls school, but they're literally in the same parking lot. So the high school. So there's they're not really separate. I think the classes are separate, but they all, it is kind of one school. But yeah, those ones are De La Salle. They're a D1 high school football team. So it's one of those things they're number 1 in the country. At least when I was in high school, they were number 1 in the country every single year, which was insane. You know what I mean? It was they would always come down to between De La Salle in California, here in Walnut Creek, and Hawaii. The Hawaii football team was the other one that always dominated. And it was De La Salle went undefeated for 20 years. And then when I was a junior in high school, they lost their first game in forever. And it was wow. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's they lost? What? But it's a private school, so anybody can go there. So they can get all of the best players from around California and just go, hey, you can come here for high school. Yeah. So that's so technically, but there aren't feeder schools elementary schools. I don't think so, at least.
Yeah, I think that's a thing. And in elementary
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, probably there too. But yeah, I heard about this. It's a feeder school. So you go to this elementary school, which preps you to go to this fancy middle school, which preps you to go to one of those high schools, which then it goes into like a Stanford something or the other, or some fancy
I don't know if it matters before high school.
I think.
Did they look at your transcripts? Because if I remember correctly, I only had to send in my high school transcripts.
No, they don't look at your kindergarten transcripts. But
how good did you do at listening and sitting?
Yeah.
What was your circle time scores?
Yeah. How many?
Which we're actually getting back these circle time scores, and they're like, Kennedy's not participating. She's just taking a nap during circle time, and we're like, what the? Why are you taking naps during circle time?
That's an upgrade. Remember, she used to slap people, right? And then when she's I don't like your coloring style.
There was once where I think it was one of those things, she saw a movie and were related to the bad guy, and so she was I'm gonna try this. There was one time where that happened, but for the most part, no. It's mostly that she's distracted. It's that, my 5-year-old is just running around. They're she's kind of erratic. She's not focused. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which, okay, she's 5 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, not that I'm making excuses, but she's also 5. So it's hard for me to be
I don't know what it was like. Because you've always been the good guy and everything. You never identified with the villains in a story, right?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah. That sounds right. That is actually one of my favorite stories about you, is, I mean, you're not a drinker, but there was once we went out to the Russian River where my buddy has a house and we all
Oh,
had
dear
some
Lord.
drinks, and you went on this rant
Oh,
about how
no.
all Disney villains are not really villains. They're just regular people that children don't understand. It's regular, that it's a regular, like the hunter and Bambi. You were like, this man's trying to feed his family. They made a whole movie about how he's an asshole.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, I don't remember that trip too much. I'm gonna be entirely honest. But the fact that you say this, and I'm like, I'm not surprised.
That's okay. Okay.
Like that sounds like something I would say.
What were the other ones? I remember Scar, and you were like, do you know how lions actually behave? Like, they murder each other and then, like, murder all the babies. He only killed his brother. He didn't
Yeah.
murder all the babies.
Yeah.
I mean, he did chase him off. He kind of tried, but he didn't
I
do it.
already know exactly where my speech was going with that one. Because you know what? His nickname was Scar, right? His parents didn't just call him Scar. And you have to like read
Right.
into the text, and his name, and I forgot what it was, Swahili or something, is
Yeah.
garbage.
It's garbage. Yeah.
His name is garbage. So he was shunned. He was just trying to prove himself his whole life, you know, with his big brother getting all the praise. He says, "Hey, man,
What does Mufasa mean in Swahili?
it's something.
It must mean king.
Yeah, it's something great, like great
Yeah.
one.
I mean, we could probably Google translate it, but it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, he's king and the other's garbage, where it's like they won't understand. But that's like Darth Vader, for example. You know what Vader means in German?
No, actually.
Father.
Oh,
Like,
that's
and
right.
people
Yeah,
are like, you didn't know that he is Luke Skywalker's dad? His name is Father.
That's on the nose.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I got that from Pitch Perfect, by the way. I didn't know that. I don't speak German. Yeah.
I can't say I've seen Pitch Perfect, but you also have a wife.
Pitch Perfect? How have you not watched Pitch Perfect?
I
You
mean,
not an Anna Kendrick fan?
I am, but I'm not.
You didn't watch Glee either, did you?
No, I've never seen a single episode of Glee.
Okay, fine.
But however, what's her face is in it? That like tall, blonde, really funny woman. You know what I'm talking about? The short hair.
Oh, yeah. Wait, in Glee or in Pitch Perfect?
Glee.
Oh, yeah, Jane.
What is her name?
Oh, wait. Oh, that's what we have. The Glee, Jane.
The point is I'm a huge fan of hers, and so when I found out that she's in
Jane
Glee,
Lynch.
Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch.
Yeah, when I found out that she's in Glee, I actually wanted to watch Glee.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, she would be your character that you would like, because she's just a dick to everybody, but it's so funny. It's like, that's the whole point, is she's just an asshole to all these high school kids. And then eventually they have to snap out of it. Of course.
Yeah.
She has her touching moments, but she's definitely like let's see how much we can put these people through the wood chipper.
Yeah. Like the guy from Scrubs. What's his name? Dr. Cox?
Dr. Cut, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite characters. Him and Johnny C. McGinley, I think his name is. Yeah, he's great. He's always got the gravel. What?
Wait, John, is he the janitor?
John C. McGinley? No, he's Dr. Cox.
Oh, that is his name. Oh, okay.
Yeah, janitor's name was Janitor.
Yeah.
He didn't actually have a name. I think they may have said, like, I think your name is this at the end, but they never actually, he's always that was the joke. It's Janitor.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to just make him in like the first episode a figment of JD's imagination, but he caught on so much that he stuck through the entire show.
Everybody thought he was so fun. Yeah, I think that was it. They were like, he's only talking to JD. He's just going to be somebody that, he's crazy. And then he was so funny that everybody was like, you have to keep him. And eventually I heard that in the script, they wouldn't even write him lines because he would ad-lib everything. Yeah. And he would just keep doing different takes. So they just wrote, whatever Neil says is fine. That's what it said in the script, is whatever. Neil Flynn, I think his name is, the actor. Yeah. But it's so whatever good, Neil says is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get a show where people just riff off of each other and there's not really a script anymore. I love shows like that. I think Community does that.
I never saw. I actually have never seen a single episode of Community or The Office, which I think bothers people a lot.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like
I can see
the,
that.
the Office defined a generation,
Sure.
our generation.
Right. Well, it's just I have a rough time with like really cringe TV. And like The Office is just like if you dialed it up to 11, that's how cringe every episode is. So I think I've seen maybe one or two, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like it's making me really uncomfortable. Like I'm here for adventure. That's why I like my adventure stuff.
Adventure.
Yeah. Don't give me cringe Office. I could go to The Office if I want to see that. But it's now there's like so much pop culture stuff that's based off of The Office that you have to watch it. So yeah,
it's so relatable. That's the reason.
Is that it?
Everybody knows somebody who reminds them of someone in The Office.
Of the boss, Michael.
Not the boss, just all the coworkers.
Sure.
Like everybody. You can because I remember I used to do this back when I was working at Holt. Is I used to find people who would remind me of people in The Office and start like labeling them like, oh, you're this person from The Office. You're this person from
The
Office.
Jim. There's the couple. Hey, Jim. Hey, Pam. How you doing? Yeah. I mean, I do know a little bit about it just because there is so much pop culture stuff about it. It's like you just can't avoid it. It's like Star Wars. Like if you don't know that Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father, you just haven't been paying attention in pop culture in general. It's like
you don't have internet. You're Amish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you probably live somewhere. There's no in the forest in your little Ted Kaczynski tent. Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't know this, right? Until I was traveling with some Minnesotans, and so they have Amish people out there.
Yeah, there's every kind of person that you've seen on TV ever is somewhere in the United States.
Isn't that wild though? Because to me, it's like they're like mythological creatures.
The Amish people, yeah.
Because there's no.
So did you see a horse and buggy or something?
No, I wasn't in Minnesota, but
they have been.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They were telling me a story. I think something happened to his roof. I think a storm blew off his shingles or something like that, and he was getting it repaired, and he was getting quotes, and he went to like the main guy in town or whatever, got a quote. And he's like, that's astronomical. I can't pay for that. He's like, well, what can we do? He's like, well, I know some Amish guys. He's like,
when they'll come in.
Yeah. So these Amish dudes rolled up, right? In a
horse and buggy.
Yeah. With all this material in their cart, just went up to his roof, got it all like set up, did everything. He said it was super cheap. They're super nice. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna charge you less, but there's one condition. Can you drive us back to our place? Because this is going to take a long time to get home.
How did the horse get home?
I think they had someone drove, or there was 3 of them, I guess. One guy dropped off all the materials and then rode home.
Oh, went home. Okay.
Yeah, because it took them a couple days. So they just kind of...
Wait, then they wouldn't really be Amish, because don't Amish shun any technology? They wouldn't accept a ride home, right? I don't know anything about Amish culture. That is entirely speculation.
I learned this, I guess. Yeah, I mean, because they also accept currency, right? So if they're not bartering, I think it's
well, they still need supplies, right?
Yeah, so they have to go in town and buy things, and so
there's Amish people in Minnesota,
that are really good at doing houses or repairing houses.
This is a good segue. So let's start with this ridiculous trip that you just went on with the strangers from Minnesota. How is it that you're afraid of being eaten by cannibalistic Southerners, but you'll just get in a car with 2 Minnesotans? How is that? Like, you just accepted that those 2 people were not cannibals and decided to travel all over the country with them. Why was that the case?
Well, they weren't hillbillies, right? I think that was a major.
Is that the fear? Is hillbillies?
Yeah, actually, because
it's not the cannibalism; it's that hillbillies are cannibals.
Well, it's cannibalistic hillbillies, right?
Okay.
And I thought about this. A lot. It was either you or it was Kevin, my brother, who asked me, "Is it all Southerners?" Or no. He asked me if it was only Southerners in the U.S. or hillbillies in the
world.
U.S. or anyone around the world.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
England's got a fair share of
I
hillbillies,
had to
don't they?
think about that, right? And
Yeah.
then it came to me that it's around the world, right? And the reason I came to this conclusion is because I remember watching,
Oh shit.
it was a
But keep
Chinese
going.
movie. I was watching a Chinese movie. And there was this guy in there who was like a hillbilly, but from China. And I remember he didn't do anything weird. He wasn't like dangerous or anything, but he creeped me out like to astronomical levels. And I couldn't figure it out. I could not figure it out. And this is like way, 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 way back. And so it wasn't until I was asked that question that I thought about it. I was like, the reason he creeped me out is because he was a hillbilly and he potentially could have been a cannibal.
And he could have eaten you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I came to the conclusion that it doesn't matter where in the world you're from. It's just if
So
you're
does the movie It scare you then? Because isn't that a clown eating people?
It is.
But he's not a hillbilly, so it doesn't bother you so much.
Yeah.
So it's the hillbilliness that you're afraid of.
No,
You
it's
don't
the
care about
cannibal-
being cannibalized. It's just that
No,
you don't want to be
it's the-
cannibalized by a hillbilly.
Yeah, right. Because like a monster or whatever, they're gonna come at you and oh no, I'm being eaten, right? But like the hillbilly will put you in the stew. You know what I mean?
So everybody else is basically a zombie if they're cannibals, except for hillbillies. They'll chop you up, cook you, and make you taste like meat.
Yeah.
This conversation got away from us. Okay, so so you get in the car with the Minnesotans. Where do you get in the? You fly somewhere to talk to these two strangers that you met in Egypt.
They're not complete strangers. So
I
I
met them in Egypt.
Yeah, I met them in Egypt, and we went on a whole what is that called? A boat that goes down things. A cruise.
A boat?
We went on a cruise down the Nile together, right? We ate at the same time for like a week. I hang out with these people. So they're not complete strangers, right? And we kept in contact. We chat. We internet
Gotcha.
talk.
So they're like pen pals almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we flew into Vegas, and from Vegas, that's where we decided to go hit up all across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, and then drive back.
Listening. Okay. So where does it start?
So it starts in Nevada. I gotta look at a list because we went to a lot of places.
Oh,
man.
so you started in Nevada and then you went on like a circle and then came backwards.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you try again?
Dude, this freaks me out. Like any words that start with S and all of a sudden Siri is just talking to me, like while I'm having a conversation with somebody else, and it's like, who else is listening to my conversations? But it's Siri. Stop talking to me, Siri. Okay.
It's kind
of weird. Yeah. Okay, so you go and you see a bunch of national landmarks, right? So
Yeah,
you go to
we
the
see a
Grand
bunch of
Canyon.
national
Did you go to
landmarks.
Yellowstone? You went to
I
the
didn't.
No? Did you go see the big arch?
The big arch, like the one
The
by
big
the.
arch.
Oh, we went to the Hoover Dam. That's where we started off.
Okay.
'Cause it's
How was
the Hoover
that?
Dam-
I mean, it's a dam.
Yeah, it's a dam. It's big, man. Have you ever seen it?
Is it? I have not. No. I want to go see that. I want to go see Niagara Falls, which that's way up in New York.
Yeah,
If I
wanna
remember
see it.
correctly. And some other things. Like the arch is in Arizona, I think. I don't know. It's near where Dan lives. So I just need to go see Dan, and then he and I could go take a day trip out there and just go see the arch. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's one of those photography spots where if you can get it at the right angle, it looks like there's nobody there. Otherwise, there's a ton of Photoshop, but it's always crawling with people. So you have to be there like first thing in the morning if you're going to go and do this like photo trip. But yeah, there's a couple of photo trips that I've wanted that it's like, I want to get this picture, but I also know how hard it is. Like this one right here, it took me like 3 years to get, which is that's the right one you get. It's the galaxy core. So like if you look at the sky, completely clear day, it looks like in the middle of the night, it's pitch black, and it looks like there's clouds in the sky, but they're like orange. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever seen this where you go and it's like outside completely pitch black?
Yeah.
That's the core of the galaxy. So like we're on one of the, our solar system's like on one of the arms, but when the Earth faces the core, like when we're in the right position, you can see it and it looks really clear. And I was like trying to get this picture forever. Finally, I got one. This is Joshua Tree, where it was like dark,
Yeah,
But I had a couple of attempts, but it was like not too far outside San Francisco. We went to one and there was a haunted church and we're like, fuck this, we're getting out of here. It was like, and Matt, what's funny is like, I have this buddy, Matt, Matt, and he's also a photographer, but he does not sense danger around him. He will stop. Like, how you're afraid of hillbillies trying to cannibalize you? I'm just afraid that he's just going to be regular murdered because he'll stumble into somebody's backyard and he's like, this seems like a good place to stop and take pictures. So it does almost feel like that. Like we stopped and there was just this church. It was just like a white building with a cross on it. And it was the middle of the night. There were no lights, no street lights, no city lights, no nothing. And he just like shining his red light on this church. And I'm like, we're not stopping here. We have to keep going. So it was like, let's try to go somewhere else. And we ended up in the back of somebody's farm. And I'm like, this isn't working out. We got to try somewhere else. So like, we ended up not getting the picture that night. But it's one of those situations where it does feel a bit like, like you need to sense danger around you. Maybe not cannibals, but certainly danger in general.
Yeah. I mean, if we're in a cornfield, I'm definitely on high alert.
Yeah. That's how we got our dog. Was Lauren completely ignored danger. You don't remember? You didn't hear that? Okay, so our dog. My wife was like, she wanted a dog, and she goes on Craigslist and she finds somebody that found a dog. Somebody that like, and it's this little black puppy. They're like, hey, we found a black lab. It's a couple of weeks old. If you want it, come get it. And we're like, sure. They go, great. So it's 3 hours south of Seattle. This is when we lived in Seattle. 3 hours south of Seattle. I think it was Olympia is what that town's called. And they go, okay, at the end of town, there's a cornfield. Go to the end of the cornfield, there's a cul-de-sac. At the end of the cul-de-sac, there's a dirt road. Half a mile down the dirt road is our trailer.
No.
And Lauren goes, I'm going to just go and get it. And I was like, you are not stumbling into a Law and Order episode, all right? So, I mean, I guess I'll go with you. So we go, and it was weird. It was like 5 generations of people in this one trailer. It was like grandma's daughter, that was also grandma, then her daughter, and then her daughter, and then her daughter. And it was like, how the fuck are you? So many people in this trailer right now. And then what's funny is like, as soon as they open the door, this chihuahua walks out and we're like, you did not just hoodwink us with a chihuahua. And then it was Olive comes stumbling out. So Olive comes out and she's maybe a couple of weeks old. Like she hasn't even opened her eyes yet. She can just hear stuff. So they're like, here's your puppy, I guess. And so, it was like, but tattoos of suns and moons on their face and stuff. And I was like, this is weird. This is a weird one. Yeah, but don't stumble into the back of a cornfield to go get a dog. It just seems like just a tip in life,
If you could feel me, I'm like a scales. How much my goosebumps are just shooting up right now from just thinking about that. Just being in a cornfield with 5 generations of hillbillies.
I encountered the hillbillies. They didn't eat us, but they did offer us some DiGiorno pizza, and then we said no. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, who's on it?
Right. I'm guessing all of the men from that family because it's just daughters on daughters on daughters. There were no men in the trailer. It was very odd. I'm guessing they were on the pizza.
Yeah, like a hillbilly Amazon tribe. Amazonians.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There's just no. Yeah. How do they get new Amazons? I mean, I guess they're all super old. Because isn't she 5,000 years old?
Yeah, I guess a god shows up every once in a while.
Oh, is that it? They're all daughters of Aries or something?
Maybe. I don't know. We need Kevin. Oh, he's not here.
Yeah. Kevin. Yeah, he's our resident comic book guy.
Yeah. Okay. He's always hit the. Well, actually, that's his catchphrase.
Yeah. In the House of M, she actually destroyed the dog. I was like, don't kill the dog on the TV show. Yeah. I want to hear how you almost got arrested in Egypt, where you met your Minnesotians.
I don't remember ever almost getting arrested in Egypt. I remember
broke the law. Didn't you bribe a guard?
Oh no! I mean, yes, I did, but I didn't get arrested. I didn't get almost arrested.
I feel like bribery would be a worse crime than taking a selfie with a mummy. That's like. I know what's funny is like, I mean, listening to the story, he's like, I don't give a shit, just go.
No. So I wasn't almost arrested. I did break the law, though. So, so yeah, it was.
This is where I felt like you don't see the danger. Where I was like, in France, dude, it can be kind of racist there, and you're like, who cares? I have wine and baguettes. I'm just gonna like travel around and just no sense of danger whatsoever. You're just gonna travel around the world, and it's gonna be fine. That just seems to be your thing. I mean, your response to a pit bull charging at you, barking with "doggy," and you're only alive today because it was tackled by another pit bull. That's the level of like danger around you just doesn't seem to faze you at all.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna live my life in constant fear.
If you're being attacked by two pit bulls, you should probably have a little fear.
I know, man. They're not hillbillies. It's all right. Like, I'm not gonna be petrified unless I'm gonna be turned into stew.
Okay. All right. Dog food, fine. Stew, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was one of the. I don't remember. I think it was Tutankhamun or Ramses the Fourth, something like that. But yeah. So they have like this really famous tomb because they found his mummified remains, and it's like unmummified or unwrapped, so you can actually see his face. He's like, or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty. But his tomb is so vibrant, right? There's colors everywhere. It's super bright and everything. And you have to. And they were small, so you got to like huddle in, go in there, and then you go in there.
Were
and
they
like
small? Wait, how small?
Oh yeah, dude. If you try and go, like, I almost hurt my back going through the pyramids.
Oh.
It's small. You pretty much are like crawling if you're our size.
Squeezing through.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't like skinny though, so you can actually like go through. Normally, but they
weren't skinny, they were just short. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was a joke Bill Burr made. He's like, I know you guys make fun of us Americans for being fat, but he was in England. He's like, y'all are pretty fat here too. All right. It's pretty common.
So,
Italians.
I get in there, like, and all of the guards, not even guards, they're policemen actually, because apparently I found out there's like a police unit that's the archaeology police unit, and they don't carry like you have your little sidearm here and like a little baton to swing around, right? Like a normal cop, or should I say, a normal U.S. cop. They're walking around with AKs. They're just chilling here with their automatic rifle in the middle of like ruins, right? So you're just hitting next to like the pyramids of Giza, and there's some dude sitting with his AK just having a smoke, and they're everywhere. You can see the like higher class police officers because they're wearing suits, but they still have their machine. Like they don't look like they're wearing a gun until you look beneath their suit. Their gun is hanging out underneath their coat jacket. So I don't know what gun that is. Like the smaller machine guns.
The MAC-10.
I mean, that's a rap group, but I guess. So
a MAC-10 is a machine pistol.
No, it's not.
It's like we're gonna reference Fortnite right now. Not the tactical pistol, but the actual like the bigger machine pistol that you see. That's like kind of squarish.
Not that one. Not that one. If you saw the gun, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's like in GoldenEye. It was called like the Duce or something like that. If you ever remember that gun from GoldenEye.
Here, I'm gonna ask. Is it this one? Oh, this is like a crazy machine pistol, but yeah. Holy shnikes. Okay.
Wait, how are you sending this to me?
A text message.
Oh.
What, I gotta be complicated about this? It's gonna show up in your text messages what it looks like.
All right. Well, you know me. I like to make things complicated.
I mean, being super extra. That was what was it the other day? It was like, imagine a pimp. That's who we saw. And it was like, he's wearing a fuzzy purple suit, Kung Lao's hat, and a cane. And I was like, it's weird. I don't think of that as a pimp. I just think of that as David's going out outfit. That's like what you look like out in the world.
I don't wear a fuzzy hat.
You don't have a fuzzy hat.
I don't.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
That's absurd. I've seen you wear a fuzzy hat.
Oh, here we go. This one. The Scorpion machine gun.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it is a machine pistol. You're right.
Scorpion machine gun. Let's check it out here. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the fancy police officers carry those around, but they try and hide it. But
That
So
looks pretty
sticks
similar.
out,
That is a magazine right there. Holy
it
shnikes.
sticks out the bottom of their suits. So it's like, you're not, we see your gun, man. You're not hiding anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, dude's posted up, sitting next to the mummy. And we go in there. It was me and one of the people, one of the Minnesotans actually. We go in there, and so we're like, "Oh man, I want a picture with the mummy." You know, there's glaring signs everywhere. It says no pictures, no pictures, no pictures. So we roll up. So we like, hand him like a 20 in Egyptian. We're like, "Hey man, can we get a picture with the mummy?" He just grabs it, puts it in his pocket.
I'm not looking. I'm not
And
saying
just
yes. I'm not saying
turns
no.
away.
Just
No,
yeah.
it gets better because he turns and then we start taking pictures. He turns back, says here, takes the camera.
No shit.
Pictures.
You just gotta know, man. You just gotta know. Just bribe him with $20.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I've done this before.
What's the conversion rate?
Ooh,
Like, how
it's
much
not
did you
good
give
for
in
them.
US? It's not too different,
not
you
much.
said?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty different. It's probably like less than $5 or something like that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not much. Yeah, the US is, especially now. US
I wonder
is
if they put
killing
those
it.
signs up. That's why, like, that was, I think, the joke I'd originally made. Like, the security guards are putting those signs up so people will give them money to take these pictures.
He's just trying to make money.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, it's $5 tip is really what it is. It's like
Yeah.
not a tip jar, just all right, just do you palm it
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely something illegal I did in Egypt. But it was great though.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, after you told me that, I was like, I'm guessing bribery is a worse charge than taking a selfie with a mummy. Because they're not going to give a shit. Like the only place I've really ever seen that gives a shit when you take a picture is the Sistine Chapel. You're not supposed to take pictures of the roof because like it really does not do it
Yeah.
justice. You're supposed to go
Yeah.
and experience it. That's like the one place where people have gotten in trouble. I don't
Yeah.
think people care if you take pictures with the mummies because they're all over, right? There's like mummies in museums all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's different ones, right?
Yeah.
Did you, by the way, did you hear it? Like, we've talked about the dragon theory before.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this?
Yeah.
The,
Oh yeah.
the holes that just got poked into the dragon theory and that I'm a little upset about.
Oh no, he didn't tell me
Okay.
about that.
So the dragon theory, to everybody else, the dragon theory is that there's like pictures of dragons from every ancient culture, like, China and England and South America and all of these different cultures all over the world. There are these pictures of dragons and they all kind of look the same. It's like this skinny tube-shaped lizard that flies.
Yeah.
But the thing is like none of these cultures talk to each other. Not only did they not talk to each other, like there would have been no way to get around. At least that's the prevailing theory. So I was like, I just love the idea that maybe there was dragons. We know there were flying lizards. There were dinosaurs. We've seen them,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but I did read this thing, and it was about Egypt that there was this princess. Pharaoh princess. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but this like mummified princess,
Oh,
and there was tobacco and cocaine on her,
oh,
and
yeah,
like
you told me
there were
about that.
traces of tobacco and cocaine, and the problem with that is that tobacco and cocaine does not grow in Egypt. It grows in the Americas, and so if there was tobacco and cocaine on her, that must have meant that there was some trade with those. And it's like, oh, well, there goes the theory that they weren't able to talk to each other. If there's like some open trade from thousands of years ago,
Yeah.
they could have easily brought the stories over. I imagine it would have been harder to bring cocaine over than it would have been to bring a story about a dragon over. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like the idea that there were, maybe 6,000 years ago, there were dragons roaming around.
Yeah, man. But the Dark Ages or something, when there's some things we don't have records for everything. We never know. Never know,
That's
man.
true.
Dare to dream.
Yeah.
Dare to
Records
dream.
don't go back that far, I don't think. Because wasn't it? They were saying something like, what's it called? The city that they're dubbing Atlantis, but it's like the lost city. They were like, that was like 5,600 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Where there was some cataclysm around 5,600 years ago, and then it wiped it. It was on the ocean, and it had the circles and stuff like that, and it wiped it out. It's like that doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
going back to, you were talking about taking pictures of really, really hard photos to get.
Yes.
You heard about like the sun is going through like some weird explosion thing right now or soon?
Oh, it's like reversing its polarity or something like that.
Yeah. And in doing so, they're making it so how the polarity works, that the northern lights are going to be super visible to a point where you can almost see it in, I'm going to say like Canada or Northern America, something like that.
Okay.
But the point is if you want that shot, it's coming up real soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go do it. Where would we have to travel to?
Not super far, I don't think.
Just to the ocean?
Yeah. I don't know. We got to look it up. But, dude, that'd be so awesome. That's like one of my
Aurora
goals.
Borealis, going to see
Yeah,
I think I saw there was some picture from the space station that some astronaut took, and you could see the green around the world, where it wasn't just in the sky. It was like it bent all the way around. Like it was huge. They go, usually it's just in small spaces, but it was like huge. So I think, you're right. It's happening.
Oh, that's so awesome, dude. I absolutely, I want to see that. Would you ever go to space?
I mean, yeah, that would be great, right? To be able to experience that. I don't know, like, do you think we'll be able to? It really has I haven't really thought about it.
With the penis rockets and stuff, it's getting more real.
That's true. Well, sort of. You mean you need to spend a cool $1 billion in order to go on the penis rockets?
It's got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
Like the first.
So you think by our lifetime, people will be able to travel to like Mars and stuff, or the moon?
Maybe,
or at least space.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I would want to travel around the world a little bit more. You've been all over. You've experienced a lot more of the world than I have. I've been all over the United States, a little bit of Mexico, a little bit of Canada, but not really anywhere else. So
really,
maybe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because maybe I feel like I've asked you that before. I was like, where in the world have you been besides U.S.?
That's it. I mean, really, we went to Tulum in Mexico, which, we went like 2 steps into Belize, and then they were like, you can't go any further without your passport. And then there was, and I've been to Canada, but that's really it. So Mexico, U.S., and Canada, just all of North America, but nowhere else. Yeah, I want to go to Ireland. We've always talked about our homeland trip, where we've got the 2 places that we can go is St. Martin and Ireland, which would be fun. But that would be, I think, is going to be one of the first checks on that list of cross country. Let's go to Ireland to check out the Highlands, which actually but the castles and stuff that are out there.
Just hit up a pub. Yeah, it's like
a pub.
Just drink. Go to a pub in Ireland. That's a goal right there.
There's pubs here though. There's plenty of Irish people in San Francisco.
Is there? I only know one.
Think it's a lot different? Well, yeah, dude. We used to go to the Blarney Stone. That's like as Irish as it gets.
Oh yeah, I remember there being Irish dudes there.
Irish dude that owned that place too. You went to the Blarney Stone with an Irish guy.
Yeah. I remember that because the Irish guy I know is the only one I remember. But then I remember going to the Blarney Stone, there being other Irish people, and being like, "Whoa, you do exist."
Oh, that's good. I like
I'm
that.
sensing a theme here. It's like if it's not in my general vicinity, I'm like, oh, they're like magical creatures.
Yeah, it's magic. And we don't have to be worried about them unless they're hillbillies. Although I imagine Ireland has a ton of hillbillies. So
you think?
High alert. Yeah, there's plenty of like wide open spaces out there. Isn't that like the thing? Is like the hillbillies live in the hills?
Yeah.
Didn't put that together, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna need like an emotional support animal or something with me.
Okay. Well, we could always go to St. Martin first. That's like a beach town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one giant beach town.
Yeah. Okay.
It's small, man. You can drive around the entire island in less than a day. It takes about, I want to say 4? No, more than that.
That's
probably
one
6
of the
hours.
things I feel like people don't get is how big the United States is. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and how big do you think St. Martin is? Like the size of Connecticut, Rhode Island?
I want to
Because
say
if you're talking about
10...
driving around it in a day, like it takes 4 hours to drive around the Bay Area in one day.
Yeah.
If you're driving from the top of San Francisco all the way down to San Jose, all the way around, you're probably looking at 4 hours, and that's with no traffic.
Yeah. Hold on. Actually, I used to know this. I want to say it's like 20 miles. No, more than that.
Oh, 20 square miles? So like 20 by 20?
No, like diameter.
Oh,
It's small, dude. How big is St. Martin?
I hope everybody can hear
Oh, no.
that is the loudest
13.
keyboard of all time.
I was wrong. 13 miles.
13 miles. So 13 by 13 or?
Yeah. The dwarf state was total area of 13 miles, 13 square miles. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
So the coastline is 36 miles. So you can travel around the whole. It's about the size of Manhattan.
Take a day to get all the way around a country that's only 13 miles?
Less than a day. So it's about the size of Manhattan.
36 miles? You could drive that in half an hour.
There's a lot of hills, man.
Oh, okay. I believe you. Stanford University, everybody.
No sense of direction.
Fantastic.
Yeah, size of Manhattan. That's actually wild. I never really thought about that.
The size of Manhattan. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that isn't huge.
Yeah, so not the size of a state, the size of a city.
Yeah, so it'd probably be around the size of the Bay Area then. Because San Francisco's 7 by 7. It might, maybe even smaller.
7 by 7? Huh. Yeah.
Well, San Francisco, the city of San Francisco, 7 by 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I seem bigger?
The city?
No. St. Martin. I mean, I knew it was small, but I didn't think it was that small.
I mean, I'm guessing you didn't visit the entire country. You only visited one small part where your family is.
No, I drove around the whole place.
You drove around the whole place? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just dense. There's a lot of stuff in a small area. I felt like you were going farther. Not it either.
Not really, no.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot of open foresty areas in there still.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go. Apparently, I didn't know this. Monkeys were not native to St. Martin. Someone brought a monkey, and then it just started breeding. So now there's monkeys on the island, and they like to hang out in hotels.
I believe that. I've heard that, like, certainly not in St. Martin, but like in different parts of South America, where it's like, the monkeys will just come up and take your stuff from your hotel room.
Oh yeah,
it's like run away with your wallet. It's like, well, there that goes. You're never getting that back.
I was in Bali. That's where that happened. Ooh, those monkeys they're mean.
You've been to Bali too?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. The rule of thumb is if a monkey takes something from you, like it's theirs. Just don't even. Yeah. Because I remember there's this lady, I watched her, monkey took her water bottle and she like grabbed her water bottle and tried to yank it back. And you saw the fangs bare from the monkey. And she was like, whoa, I'm so sorry.
Oh, shit. I wonder, because, yeah, they're crazy strong. They're like, they've said that they'll like grab people's scalps and peel it like a banana. Like, that's how crazy strong they are. But I wonder, like, if you and I are also much bigger than the average person. Not that I'm saying we could take any semblance of a monkey, but do you think that they would be more apprehensive? Like a monkey would look up and go, that guy looks like he's he's up there. Man. You don't think they care?
No, I don't think they care.
Okay.
So
they got to deal with much bigger predators than us anyway.
Do you think you can take a punch from a gorilla?
No. A 400 pounds of muscle? No, absolutely not. Take a punch from a gorilla. Those things throw each other around. They're like 400 pounds. They can just lift up another 400-pound gorilla and throw it.
Yeah.
A punch would probably be like a small car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to believe in yourself more, man.
It's got nothing to do with skill and everything to do with Darwinism. I firmly believe that my intellect will keep me alive, which is telling me not to fight a 400-pound gorilla.
You hear Mike Tyson wanted to box a gorilla?
Oh, God. And they were like, Mike, you can't box a gorilla.
Yeah. They're like, no, dude, you cannot box a gorilla.
Not. Did I tell you that I had a buddy, though, that went to Australia? He was in the military and he boxed a kangaroo.
Yeah, I hear that's a thing there.
What was fun, like the thing, I think one of the things is, and this is what I've heard from the story, is that a lot of the Australian ladies like it when the Navy comes in, the U.S. Navy, and then they're just like, they're all about partying with these guys. And so he went in, he started talking to this lady, and it turns out that the lady's boyfriend wasn't so stoked about that. And so he's like, you know what, you should. So they were feeding him drinks, they get him nice and drunk, and then he's in this pub and there's a boxing ring and he's like, who's boxing? He goes, they're like, you are. So he jumps into the ring and then a kangaroo jumps in and he's like doing the thing and he punches it in the face and it kind of leans back onto its tail and then leaps forward and kicks him in the ribs. And so it broke 3 of his ribs. So he like hobbles back. He's like, I may have messed up. So he like hobbles back to the boat and literally just laid down and like had to heal for 3 days of just broken ribs. Like, yep, they do that. But that's like, getting kicked by a kangaroo is insanity.
Yeah. Because like kangaroos, although there are those like jacked kangaroos, you've seen those pictures, right?
Yeah, like the alphas, for sure.
Yeah, it was just like look like a giant walking hunk of meat.
It looks like Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to get punched by one of those roided kangaroos, but a kick from a kangaroo, man.
Don't fuck with the kangaroos, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild that there's too many kangaroos, so they actually have to hunt them.
That's what I heard. There's this guy that I do all these conferences with. Like, I see him at all these different conferences that you and I end up going to. Yeah. He was saying, like, yeah, they're pests. Like, they'll go into farmers' crops and they'll just eat all the corn or eat all the whatever the crops are. And he goes, yeah, they got to hunt these things because otherwise they'll just eat all your food, like your crops. Yeah. You got to get rid of them. He goes, yeah, in Australia it's nuts. Like, you have to hunt the kangaroos. There's toads. Like the toads have that like slimy shit on their back that's like really poisonous. So he goes, yeah, a lot of Australian folks will just keep a 9-iron next to their back door. So if they see these toads, they'll just see you later. Like,
that sounds like the most Australian thing in the world.
That is, yes. And it's also like, that's the most Australian thing ever. It's like, this place is wild. This is ridiculous. It's like, I feel like humans are not the top of the food chain in Australia. They just live there. You know what I mean? There's just all this stuff that's trying to kill you all the time. There's spiders the size of my dog, and they're just around. Like, they just don't bother people out there. If I saw one of those crazy fast-moving spiders, I'd shit myself and then probably leave. Just get on the next plane home. But they're like, no, they're fine. They don't hurt anybody. They just kind of are around. And it's like, where did the spiders go?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You got a flamethrower with me at all times, man.
One of those super soaker ones that Elon Musk was selling everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, the roofing torch. Because you can get that through. It's not technically a flamethrower. It's just a toy. Yeah. Tell us how Swoley Bears is going.
It's kind of going interesting right now.
Okay.
Because I'm doing a lot of pricing right now and working with the manufacturer, and things are, I wouldn't say they're going poorly. It's just that I wish things would go better. And what I mean is that I think because I have one of my the manufacturer I'm with, which I finally got one, and that was a problem I was having. A huge problem was I was having finding a manufacturer because no one really wanted to work with me because I was new. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Sure.
I'm kind of just winging it out. But now that actually I kind of have some steam and understand things a lot more.
You got a reference point. I think that's what they're looking for, is you don't want somebody to waste your time. But now you have a reference point for what you're looking for.
Yeah. And so I feel bad because I like the people who I'm talking with the manufacturing, but their pricing is just so astronomical that I don't know if it's feasible for me to continue go with them. So I might have to switch manufacturers.
No, I mean, the first one that I tasted was pretty tasty, but you're right. I think you were saying there wasn't nearly enough protein in it. And
I had to send them. And I'm with this entrepreneurial group, and I was talking with him yesterday. He basically said, like, it's time to put on your CEO hat.
Yeah.
He's like, one of two things or both things need to happen. You either need to figure out a way to up that protein way more, or you need to have them lower the price. Ideally, you want both.
Right. Did you hear
So,
back after you emailed them yesterday and had a couple drinks
no,
after the conversation? No,
no,
you haven't
no,
heard back yet? Okay.
no. And
Well,
actually, I
maybe
was
they're
about to.
mulling it over. They're going,
Yeah,
well, let's make him sweat and see if he'll crack.
yeah.
But
And
stay strong.
here's the thing: is I also got even. I didn't tell you this because this happened after we talked. I got even worse news.
Oh, no. What happened?
Amazon sent out a message saying that if your product cannot survive 155 degrees in a warehouse, like you don't send it. At first, I was like, 155? Like, who's working in those conditions? First off.
Yeah.
Secondly, a gummy can't survive 155 degrees.
No frozen product would be able to either.
Well, I mean, how many frozen products are you buying off of Amazon?
How many gummy bears are you buying off of Amazon?
I buy a lot.
Do you really? I didn't know that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. So
okay, I'm pausing because I was like, oh, should I share this? But basically, I've been in talk since yesterday. I reached out to another manufacturer who talked with me previously, and I said, hey, I'm in the middle of R&D, can't really do things with you right now, I'm sorry. But I called them and talked with them today.
okay.
And basically
Listening.
we're talking about he's talking with his R&D team to basically come up with a price, because they're like, okay, we need to talk about like ingredients and stuff, which is I think kind of, I don't know if a red flag is the right word, but it's a flag now that I'm thinking about it.
Sure.
Is that the old manufacturer is just like, here's the price of the gummy. I was like, okay, cool. These guys are like, let us source the ingredients and tell you the price. Right? I'm like, whoa, why don't you guys source the ingredients and then
Why
tell
don't
me
you
the
do
price?
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a
Sounds
minute.
like they may be a little bit newer too, and they're just looking for business.
I mean, they are, yeah, maybe. I think so.
Well, now that you have
So
your
he
head
did
wrapped
that.
around it,
I told him, I was like, Amazon just wrote this, and I don't know how we're going to survive 155 degrees. So things are going to be changing. Like,
especially in a
because
metal
he was asking
tin.
me like, hey, like how far along are you in the business? I was like, I got everything set up, right? The last thing, I'm like, I need the last key things about Amazon warehousing, product, Kickstarter, right?
Can
And then
you
I'm good.
sell something on Amazon but then ship it from somewhere else? It doesn't have to be shipped from Amazon, right?
No, it can. It just becomes a lot more complicated
Oh,
because
sure.
the biggest thing is that you're no longer Prime eligible.
Oh.
Yeah, which if you buy things on Amazon, you know that's a big deal.
I guess. I don't know. That's not really a deal breaker for me. It's nice when it's
True.
there.
True. But it's more of like conversion rates, right? Right. Especially when I'm early, I want Amazon to promote me. So obviously I'm going to be promoting myself, but if Amazon does it for me, that's even better, because then it gets my name out there, and then I can, eventually start shifting over to my own website, right? Instead of doing the opposite, which is a lot harder.
Yeah, but if Amazon has the most efficient shipping, then you might as well ship with them either way.
Yeah, no, totally. It's also, but you make more money shipping it yourself.
That's true. That's true.
Anyways, so he told me, he's like, well, we just talked about your ingredients list, and you're using gelatin. If you switch to a different binding agent, it actually can survive. And I was like, oh.
Such as?
So,
like
pectin. It's
pectin. I was going to say that's
yeah.
what's typically in gummies is pectin.
Yeah.
I was going to say rectin because I was like, what is that? What's that word? But no, it's pectin. Rectin's wrong.
Yeah, so
rectin is, yeah.
Ultimately, it's going to be fine. I had to go through listen to a lot of motivational speeches and stuff.
Get ourselves through the tough time.
And we're like, get your shit together, because it's only going to be you. You're going to pull
Rise
yourself
and
by your
grind.
bootstraps.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen to just a couple of Eric Thomas videos and you're good.
Yeah, that was some Denzel Washington speech. So,
Denzel. Yeah.
He's like, you got to fail in order to succeed. And I'm like, okay. I'm at this again. So I got my steam back.
Okay, good.
But you got to take your moment to mourn and then move on. Important thing. Mourn.
There's
move
been
on.
a few of those along this journey. The name, and then now the manufacturer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, glad to know it's moving forward.
Yeah. I know. Well, we got to wrap up soon. But how's Blue Arrow doing, man? We haven't really talked about it too much.
Yeah, Blue Air's going good, man. It's my media company where I make stuff for people. I've been working with one company for a really long time now, but I haven't, it's going well. All right, that'll be the podcast for this time. Thanks everybody. We'll hopefully be able to do this weekly. When do you want to send these out? Like Fridays? We're working it all out. And this is the second one. We still have to, I'll edit the first and second one here like today or tomorrow.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Doing this.
All right.
But,
see everybody. See you next time.
Stay funky fresh.
We'll see you next time.